Welcome. Oh, I'm going to just shift in a little bit here. No, you come closer. We need to get together. Yeah, this is better. All right, welcome back, guys. I've got Frank Sangy Lee, who is the owner and of Chiefs, the CSGO and LoL team, I believe, in Australia.
Yep.
He's the founder and the owner of the team. First of all, I guess the question that a lot of people are wondering, like, what made you want to get into CSGO?
Well, I personally have been a huge fan of CSGO for like a long time, just playing kind of casually, and then starting watching a lot of the competitive games once it blew up, kind of in the last couple of years.
Yep.
So in saying that, like I personally, like no offense to my LoL boys, I feel CSGO is the better spectator sport from my perspective, anyway. Maybe just because I had a bit too much exposure to LoL recently.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, it was an easy decision, given how much the Australian CSGO scene and the global one is exploding right now.
Great. And what did you like about the team you picked up? So they were previously the Climax team.
Yep.
What aspects of that team did you like, and what drew you to them as an owner?
So I had looked at quite a few teams while I was kind of scanning, including Atletico at the time, but which is these guys. But what drew me to them was their consistency. So they may not be at the time a top 1, top 2 team.
Yep.
But they'd always place consistently, 3rd, 4th, doing well live at a CGPL last year, I believe, and at Azubu Masters.
Yep.
As well as, playing well online, which I guess you guys have that kind of distinction between the online and the live, but having had so many kind of solid results live, I felt it was a good opportunity. Plus, having talked through a lot of the guys, they're quite young.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I guess that there's a bit of a trade-off with the experience that they have, but the potential that they also have to grow.
Yep.
And having someone like Lightstep, who's very much a veteran of the scene.
He's a dad gamer.
Yeah, basically.
He's like me.
Basically, he's about like 4 or 5 years older than I am. So having him lead the team, it's definitely made me feel comfortable.
Yeah, and with that, a lot of people don't actually know exactly how young your team is. So take me through. Nova?
All right, so we have 16. We're 2 players on the team who can't legally drink in Australia. So Nova is 16.
Nova 16.
Zuzi is 17.
Zuzi 17.
Dizzy is 18.
Yep.
And Offnu is 21.
Yep.
And Lightstep
is about 80.
I can't really count that
he's
high.
About 80.
So
that's fine.
Yeah,
he's about a few years younger than me, but I'm tipping on 90, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Look, it's as you said, it's a trade-off between youth and exuberance and knowledge and experience.
Yep.
But I think that when you get into the competitive scene at such a young age, 16, 17, you really don't have bad habits yet at LAN.
Yep.
So when you talk about when I think of bad habits, raging, not communicating properly, all these sort of things that if you play in those middle tier teams or low tier teams for too long, people don't care enough to tell you that it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
With someone like Mike Snakewell, aka Lightstep, for those who don't previously know he played Source, his role is basically, it is a dad. It is pretty much a dad role to these guys. But how far in the future do you think you'd like to see them trying to get that #1 spot? Like, do you have a time frame for when you'd like to see some sort of really big results?
I mean, not really. I guess winning is always ideal. Yeah. But with these guys, I kind of just want to give them a good environment to grow up and become that team that has the opportunity to challenge for #1. Yeah. I think right now we're on the cusp.
You're knocking on the door.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
That's guaranteed.
And especially given how young those 2 guys are, it's definitely something good. But on the flip side, I also want to make sure that I can manage their expectations, because given how young they are, they're not really haven't had a taste of failure or basically they've been successful their whole careers.
Yeah.
So being able to kind of tune that back a little bit, be like, hey guys, you still have a long way to go, but make sure while you're doing it, you're having a lot of fun, you're improving, you're staying positive. And then you're really keeping your eye on the prize to be that #1 Australian team. Beautiful.
Now, you guys play 3 best-of-2s coming up. And if you win the group today in Vox's group as well, your teams are Archaic, Vox Seminole, yourself, Chiefs, and also Napalm Esports.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys qualify second, you will play Immunity tomorrow. If you qualify first, you'll play us tomorrow. With that first game, obviously you would rather delay Vox as long as possible. I think that's the goal of anyone who's playing a tournament like this. Is to, if you're going to get knocked out by Vox, at least try and get to the final before you can do it. But I've been in here a week. You guys have been here since Wednesday or Thursday, correct?
We all got here on Thursday, yeah.
And you've played you played a fair few maps against Vox?
Yeah, we played a few games against Voxy on the Thursday.
And how did you fare against them in practice?
Honestly, in practice, we did, I guess, decently for our expectations. We tied with them on 2 maps.
Tied with them on 2 maps?
Yeah,
well, see, that's making sure you're really always letting them know that even though they are maybe a little bit better, if they don't play their best, you're right there.
Yep.
Real right there with them. So that's
But
good.
the thing is, like, we obviously have a lot of respect for Vox Seminole as the consensus #1 team in Australia.
Yep.
And we all know that, scrim prac results, you can't really can't take that much out of them.
Yep.
I guess there's a little bit of a confidence booster that they can kind of match up with Vox Seminole over the course of 30 rounds.
Yep.
But it all really depends on how we play today and tomorrow. That's what's really important.
Fantastic. I'm going to put you on the hot seat real quick. Who do you think's the sharpest player in Chiefs? The pure sharp aim.
I think if he gets about 20, 30 minutes before a game, definitely Dizzy. He's just got that raw, natural kind of aiming talent.
Yep.
Just from playing so much CS.
Yep.
All the young guys, we can cross light step off, straight away.
Yep.
But all the young guys like Zuzi and Dizzy, they're all definitely
very
switched
sharp.
on. Yeah.
They are sharp. We played against them 2 maps last night and played very well. Zuzi especially played well. And your team is made from 2 from Tasmania, 2 from NZ, and a Canberra.
Yeah.
How does that work with time zones? Because that's a pretty big juggle.
Yeah, I mean, especially with a couple of kids that are in school still, who need to focus on study.
Yep.
The guys do have a lot of hours under their belts, but more recently with the school season starting, they have kind of had to juggle it a little bit precariously.
Yep.
Most of the guys are pretty understanding in terms of, when we need to prac, we need to prac, when we need to play,
Yep.
that kind of thing. But I know a few of them haven't gotten the ideal amount of individual prac that they would have liked.
Yep.
But as for playing as a 5, we haven't run into too many issues. Even the Kiwi guys, they're 2-3 hours ahead of us, but normally we start pracking 6, 7 o'clock in the evening.
Yep.
And as a result, we go through to about 1 or 2 New Zealand time, which is not too bad for them.
Beautiful. I want to say what an honour it is to have you look at CSGO as a viable option for a team. Because as an organisation owner, looking at CSGO and the community we have and going, hey, that's worth an investment in a team. The community's growing. What do you think you'd like to see? I mean, I'm heavily involved in the community. People like yourself, Sentinel, Talnoy, Maverick and Cyanide and all those guys who do all the Twitch and all the streaming. And there's so many people that are working diligently to raise the bar in Australian esports. Where do you think we'll be a year from now in terms of, I guess, an identity for the Oceanic region? Where do you see LoL and maybe CSGO?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's hard to say because my background in CSGO is not that good.
Yep.
But what I can see is, from my perspective, the LoL community is a little bit spoiled compared to CS.
Spoiled?
Spoiled, yeah, because, they've only had to wait a few years before their game has exploded. Whereas you guys have been at it for so long.
That's
with
true.
1.6, with Source, now with CSGO. And that's why I'm really glad to see CSGO kind of taking off as it is.
Yep.
I like the community for CSGO, especially the Australian community, shout out to the Australians, supporting the Australian scene so closely and so fiercely, as opposed to some of the LoL guys are a lot more heavily invested in the the global competitions, the international ones. We're seeing a bit of a switch back towards the Oceanic scene, but especially this year with CSGO, you can see we got CGE, we got this wonderful tournament hosted by you, and then we've got FACEIT, ESCA, and then who knows what else is going to pop up in the future. So especially with FACEIT, heavily investing in the Oceanic scene, peaking at 30k viewers, that's pretty amazing.
It's something that I've been playing competitively since about 2002/3, and for me to honestly look at a VOD after the game and 30,000 people watched me either play really well or choke completely.
Yeah, so at least they watched you.
It is quite a good feeling, and the more what I guess is lost sometimes is people sort of go, oh, Vox have a lot of fans, Vox have a lot of fanboys in Australia, a lot of people groupie Vox. The more people that groupie the best team, maybe 8 out of 10 will always just be Vox fans. Maybe 2 out of 10 go, yeah, Vox are probably the best, but I like Chiefs, or I like Ivana, or I like Immunity, or I like, Archaic. And the more people we have supporting the game in general, the fans will start to come in for all teams, and that's when we really start to have a following.
Yep.
And we can make some good moves with events like this. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know Australians always love the underdog story.
Yep.
And when Voxy are playing representing Australia, everyone needs to get behind them and support them, because
I agree.
If they do well, it trickles down into the oceanic scene eventually.
It absolutely does.
There's definitely a lot of teams that are popping up. I mean, you guys, us, Team Unity, and then like a number of amateur teams as well that are doing quite well in the oceanic scene. It's making it more competitive, which is good for everyone. Like, there's better CS to watch, it's more entertaining. The skill level of everyone improves.
Yep.
Like, it's very similar to what happened with LoL probably last year, where we dropped 2 of the big major tournaments against Legacy. From having previously been Team Unity and now the Chiefs League of Legends division, we dominated the scene for like about 3 years. Didn't lose a single tournament, but now everyone is catching up. That gets more people interested in the scene. And while, like, obviously I'd prefer to win everything, but it's definitely good that everything is a little bit more competitive now, so people have something that's worth watching and worth paying attention to the oceanic scene, as opposed to just like, nah, let's just watch NA or let's just watch EU or something like that.
Mate, look, thank you so much for joining us.
Worries.
Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Shout out to our sponsors, Logitech. Definitely been helping us out recently quite a bit since we signed with them last year. And shout out to you, of course, for hosting this awesome tournament. Shout out to the TDTV guys, Maverick, Ben, Elfish Guy for casting and doing production, and everyone who's shown up today just to make this pretty enjoyable.
Absolutely. And look, I thank you for taking your time out. I'm going to let you get behind your team and make sure they're all ready to go and all their gears good. I believe we have Sponge coming up next, which we'll have to shoot through just because the games we want to give people lots of time to warm up and make sure they're all ready to go. So thank you.